The fairy who couldn't fly. In the heart of the whispering woods, where sunlight wove through silver leaves and every petal hummed a secret song, there was born a little fairy named Liora. She was as small as a dewdrop and as bright as morning light, but unlike the other fairies, she had no wings. The day she was born, the elder fairies gathered around her cradle of woven moss and gasped softly. "No wings?" whispered one. "How will she dance on the wind? How will she reach the moonflowers when they bloom at dusk?" Leora's mother smiled gently and brushed a curl from her child's brow. "Perhaps," she said, "our little one will find her own way to fly." As Liora grew, the other young fairies soared high above the forest, chasing fireflies, tracing rainbows after the rain, and painting sunlight on the petals of roses. Liora would watch them from below, her heart aching with longing. When she tried to leap into the air, the wind would only swirl around her and sigh. "Maybe you're not meant to be a fairy at all," one of them teased. "How can a fairy be fairy without wings?" That night, Liora sat by the river, tears dripping into the water like pearls. The moon looked down kindly and whispered through the ripples, "The sky is not the only place where one can fly." The next morning, determined to prove herself, Liora decided to find her own way. She first tried petals, gathering the softest ones she could find. She climbed onto a pink lily and waited for the breeze. A playful gust lifted her high into the air. She laughed a bright, ringing laugh as the world below became a blur of green and gold. For one blissful moment she felt free. But then the wind changed, and the lily fluttered down like a sigh, landing softly on the moss. Next, she tried bubbles. With the help of the water sprites, she blew shimmering orbs that sparkled in the sunlight. She climbed inside one and drifted up, up, up over streams and flowers, her reflection dancing on the surface. The world shimmered with color, but bubbles, fragile as dreams, never last long. It burst against a branch, and Liora tumbled gently into a pile of dandelions. She tried dragonflies too. One emerald dragonfly named Iris took pity on her. "Hold tight," Iris said, "and I'll show you how the wind sings." Together they darted through reeds, skimmed over ponds, and glided through the mist. For the first time, Liora felt the rhythm of the air not just around her, but within her. When they landed, Iris said, "You don't need wings to fly, little one. You just need something to carry your heart higher." Liora thought deeply about this. She began to notice that even the things that could not fly the roots of trees, the petals that fell, all had their own kind of grace. The trees reached for the sky not by rising, but by growing tall and steady. The flowers opened to the sun and let the light come to them. Seasons passed, and the forest began to love Liora in its own quiet way. She became known as the fairy who walked with the wind. When storms came, she soothed frightened birds. When the rains flooded the streams, she whispered comfort to the flowers bending under the drops. One night, a terrible storm swept through Whispering Woods. The fairies, frightened, tried to flee, but the winds were too strong. Their delicate wings were tossed and tangled. Seeing them in danger, Liora ran to the heart of the storm, calling to the wind, "Please, gentle one, they are your children too." The storm hesitated. The thunder softened. The lightning stilled. Liora stood firm, her feet on the earth, her heart lifted higher than any wing. The wind circled her, curious. "Why do you not fly away, little fairy?" it asked. "Because," she said softly, "I don't need to. The sky is already within me." And for the first time, the wind itself bowed. It lifted her not as it carried others, but as if it listened to her heart. She rose, surrounded by light, her laughter scattering like petals in the storm's calm. From that day on, no one in Whispering Woods ever doubted her again. When young fairies looked up at the sky, they would sometimes see her walking among the clouds, not with wings, but with courage. And they would remember that the truest kind of flight doesn't come from wings at all, but from the heart that dares to soar. If you like the story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel.